Hello YouTube, Robin Hood Bricks here, and today I'll be making use of my patented hot tea technique in a tutorial of how to fix, move and repair Lego stickers. So before we get started, I'm just going to quickly run through the equipment that you're going to need if you want to fix, move and repair Lego stickers. The first is a knife. I just use one of these retractable craft knives just because they're nice and safe and they've got a very narrow blade. It doesn't matter if your knife isn't particularly sharp or anything, as long as it does have a decent point on it for getting under the edge of stickers. Another thing is a pair of scissors, relatively small, that we might trim some edges with. Then a sunglasses cloth, just for removing dirt. Clean hands is very important because we don't want to be adding more muck than we're removing. And then the last thing is a mug of steaming hot tea. Now I find that Assam tea works best for me. You may want to try other types of tea, but it is important that it's tea because other drinks just don't work anywhere near as well. I've chosen to use this patent protected hot tea technique mug. And if you don't have a dedicated mug for this procedure, then you can get one of these mugs by following the link in the video's description. So the only bit of equipment I need now is the tea itself, and it's very important to keep this tea really hot. As soon as it cools down, that's a sign for two things. Firstly, you need to drink your tea, and two, you need another tea to use in the removal of stickers, because if it does get anywhere off optimal heat, then it's just a lot less effective. And with that, two words of warning. First of all, hot drinks are very hot, so do take care when carrying and pressing pieces against your mug of hot tea, because you do not want to knock it over and spill hot tea all over yourself. And secondly, knives are of course dangerous if used inappropriately, so if you aren't an adult yourself, do seek adult supervision, or if you aren't confident with a knife, then, well, don't use one. Right, I'm off to get some hot tea and then we can get started. Alright, so we've got our tea, and this really is very hot indeed. I'm finding it very hard to hold the side of the mug. And that is the effect that we're going to be using to heat through the glue underneath our stickered pieces. And I've just got two stickered pieces to start on here, very sort of basic small ones, being these sort of clip-on signs, one from a cargo train and one from a kind of computer screen, I guess. So I'm using that heat to transfer into the glue of the sticker. And this is why you need a vertical edged mug, because you need it to have good contact with the piece itself. And because it's curved, I'm having to rock this piece from side to side, as you can probably tell, just to make sure all of the sticker is getting warmed through. Some people have Teflon coated hands and they can touch really, really hot things. I don't have that, so I'm holding the rim with my other hand because it's a lot cooler up there. And the length of time that you have to warm through a sticker will vary on the type of sticker it is, the age it is, even the piece it's connected to. But if you do meet any resistance in lifting the sticker, then apply more heat. And it might be that when your tea has cooled down too much, it doesn't become as effective. And that's just a sign to get more tea. Right, so I've warmed that one through, and I'm going to get my knife now and just kind of lift the corner of the sticker. Now, I'm not pushing into the sticker, I'm not pushing up against it, I'm just sort of needling in between the two very carefully. And then when I've got my tip of my knife right underneath, I'm going to kind of pinch it between my knife and my thumb. So I'm gripping it just to pull it up a little bit, so you can see hopefully there that I've now lifted that corner. Then I can readjust my knife just to do it once more, a little bit more. And as soon as I can, I'm getting my thumb involved just to keep that corner from going down. Then I can put my knife to one side, maybe even retract the blade for safety, and use my fingers from here on. And that is because your fingers are a lot more sensitive than using what is ultimately a sharp metal object to pull the remainder of the sticker off. And you can tell if you're pulling too hard and there's a lot of stress on the sticker and it might tear or rip. So much better to use fingers as much as possible. Right, so we've now peeled off the rest of the sticker and I'm going to keep it safely on my finger for now. I can push my T back, and this is where we clean the piece that the sticker came from, just to remove any sticker residue, so we've got a nice clean piece. And then we can look at the underside of the sticker, which in this case is very clean, to see if there's any fluff that needs removing. Now often these pieces are put together, these sets rather, on carpets by children. Makes a lot of sense. There's usually loads of carpet fibres, and although these stickers aren't very light in colour, they can still show through the bumps and lumps that result from carpet fibres or other grime that gets wedged underneath them. Right, so here is our sticker. We've checked the back for any carpet fibres and so on, and now it comes to reapplying it. So I'm going to pick up the original piece by the side, so I'm not putting my finger grease on the top, and then I'm going to reapply it. Now this is the time to decide whether you've got the piece the right way around. In this case it's a computer screen, it's going to be hinged that way, so I have got it right. Which way is the bottom? There. So I can put this sticker back in position. Which is quite hard to do on camera. And there is our now straight-ish computer screen. Yeah, so that's the very basic, simple procedure. So I'll do it again with this piece here. Clean the piece. Warm through the glue of the sticker. Lift the corner very delicately with the blade of the knife, not pushing down, not pushing up. And then as soon as there's enough to grip with your fingers, transfer to your fingers to lift the sticker. Put the knife safely to one side and then keep the sticker on your finger while you're cleaning the piece. Then clean the underside of the sticker, and hopefully we'll see one that's a lot more dirty than that one was, to show you that better very shortly. And then reapply the sticker. So there, I've got the knife right under the sticker. I can pinch it. Oh, this one's coming off incredibly easily. This must be a slightly less strong glue. So I'll put the knife down, give this a polish. There's some muck on it. I can see some muck. Sometimes muck builds up against the side of a sticker, so it wasn't necessarily underneath it, but just against that very shallow edge. So there's our sticker. Yeah, this one's got some carpet fibres on. So you see there's a large carpet fibre there and some muck right along that top edge you might be able to see as well. So in order to clean this off, we're going to basically scrape the face of the sticker with the knife. Now, you don't have to use a knife. You could use any sort of metal implement with a nice sort of keen edge. And what you're doing is putting it onto the face of the sticker and then moving across to wipe that debris off. You're definitely not pushing down into the sticker, or more importantly, into your finger. That would not be clever. And we're not doing it very hard at all, because we don't want to scrape off the glue, because we want to reapply the sticker after all. We're just scraping hard enough to take off the kind of fluff that's embedded in the glue. So you can see I'm just working from the sticker center to its outsides to take all that off. And then if we can look at that again, you can see that it's virtually all gone. There's a little speck there. Now, this matters a lot less with darker stickers, to be fair, because you won't see the dirt through. Whereas on white stickers, for example, or definitely on clear stickers, you'll be able to see every little bit of fibre. And then all stickers will benefit from the removal of larger pieces of dirt, which actually cause the sticker to sort of tent over them, and you can, see that it's got muck underneath it because you can feel it with your finger or so on. Right, so it's very important at this stage to check the orientation of the piece. Yep, it should be, it should be that way in this case, so it can clip onto a vertical piece. So I need to have it that way, so I don't want to muck it up. This is why it's worth checking twice what way round a sticker should go, and then we can just reapply the sticker. Now, it won't have lost any of its stick usually. There we go, that's looking good. So there's the piece nice and straight. Wonderful. Now both of those were at a bad angle, not the worst I've ever seen, but now they're very good, they're very well attached, and that is a great improvement. So now I'm going to run through about 10 more examples of using this technique in slightly different ways to different types of pieces, and where the damage or the initial situation is a lot worse than these. So hopefully you'll find a lot of tips and techniques, and you'll be able to apply this with confidence to your Lego collection. So the next application of my patented hot tea technique is applying the same methodology but to a smaller piece. Now, the reason for doing this separately is just because there's a slight variation. It can save you a lot of the effort when the sticker is very small. Obviously, the bigger the sticker, the more it is stuck to the piece very firmly. But you'll find that when you warm through with very hot tea a smaller piece, or a smaller sticker rather, on a piece, that you can actually avoid most of the steps that we just went through and actually drag the piece using just pressure from your thumb from the bad position to a better one. So I'm going to heat this one through as before. And then if we take a look at it, it's very near the left, a bit too near the bottom, and it's not straight. So I'm just going to, with my thumb and the pressure, just try and drag it into a better position. And there you can see I've already pretty much straightened it up. So I just need to go along. And it might be that I need to warm through again if it's not moving anymore. Because effectively, as we said before, we're warming the glue, and therefore it becomes a little more liquid, and it will kind of roll the sticker over the piece. And I am pushing this piece quite firmly onto the mug to make sure there's some really good contact for that heat transferal. Ooh, nearly. I think that looks about perfect, actually. So there we are, just with some pressure, we've taken a small sticker and moved it to a central and straight position. Awesome. So after doing some small stickers, here I'm going to do a bigger one. And this is the map from the Scala set Camping Trip 3143. And the original owner of this put the map on upside down, as well as not straight or particularly centered. So that should be quite an improvement when we fix this. So it's exactly the same process as usual in that we're going to warm it, but because it's a lot bigger piece, we're going to have to do a lot more warming, because as one bit isn't in contact, it's cooling down the whole time. So we need the whole sticker to be nice and warm and the glue nice and melted for us to be able to lift this in a way that won't damage it. And older stickers also often take a lot more warming. On this one being from 1999, it may require quite a bit. Right, so that should be enough. Now to get this thing started, I'm going to pick a corner. If there was one corner that was lifted, that would be a great place to start, but there isn't. So what I'm going to do is use the tip of the knife to kind of touch the edge of the sticker, the side of it, and kind of flick it up. So I'm kind of pushing onto it like that and then sort of doing that. So I can get just that tip underneath it. Because you don't want to be cutting. You're not trying to cut anything at all. But that's coming off. I think that's enough to get my finger underneath. And then I can pull a lot more sympathetically with my fingers. And this is pretty well stuck, I must say. But it is coming. So we just need to be patient. And if you feel any resistance or feel that it's not coming off smoothly, stop and re-warm. Okay, ooh, nearly. Not ruin it at the end. Slow down when you get to the end so you don't pull it too fast. There we go. Safely stuck on my finger. Put the tea to one side. Had to use really hot tea for that, so I'm already on mug number 2. Get rid of some of this residue that was underneath. It was either muck on the back of the sticker or maybe a tiny bit of that stickiness. You can see it's picking up some of the cloth there. So it might need a wet cloth first. So now we've got a clean piece and a clean sticker. So all that remains is for me to reapply it, which is never easy when you've got a camera in between you and what you're trying to do. Make sure we don't get any air bubbles. And there we go. There's a nice right way up map, centered and straight. Very happy with that. And then sometimes it's quite nice to just give it a nice buff. Make sure it's got a good connection. There we go. Now sometimes we have some useful stickers like these ones that say Arctic 4 from the Arctic supply plane, set 60064. But we don't know where we're going to put them yet because I'm not rebuilding that set. I'm going to have a great big Arctic layout at some point. So I kind of want to save these pieces for later. Now, one way would be just to leave them on the piece and move them to another piece when I know exactly what I'm doing. But I just want to show you that you can, of course, put them onto an old sticker sheet. So what I would do is get an old sticker sheet, pull off the kind of old lining, just get rid of that. And now we've got a nice sheet that we can use to remove our stickers via the usual technique. And then we can just put them on our old sticker sheet for future use. So handily, this one's hanging off one side, so that's very easy to get right underneath. Get the peel started. Okay, so that piece can go back into use. Quick check on the underside of this. Now the bit that was overhanging, unsurprisingly, is quite dirty. You can see that corner's got a lot of muck on it. The rest seems all right. It's no wonder that got muck if it was just sort of hanging off the edge there. So you can see again, I'm just scraping this horizontally, leaving behind the stickiness and definitely not pushing into my thumb or finger. Okay, now it can also be the case in the instance where it's sort of been hanging off in midair, that some of the stickiness might have actually been lost. So I'm kind of just testing that with my finger, and it does feel that there is no stickiness there. So in which case you can just use a simple stick glue just to give that a little bit more stickiness on that corner, and it won't bind it to the piece in the same way, but it will just prevent that corner from lifting when it's in its new position. Now, I'm not actually applying it to a piece in this case, so maybe I shouldn't have bothered gluing it, but it doesn't matter. And I'll just stick that down on my sheet for later use. Fantastic. Now, this piece is a very old one. It's from the set Railway Express 4560. And I can tell it's old because it's actually a sticker across 2 bricks. In the olden days, when you wanted a big sticker, because they didn't have as many big pieces, they would do this, and it's not great because it means you can never take these 2 bricks apart. And, well, it just doesn't look that great really, does it? So I've decided to move this sticker to a different piece, and I've chosen a piece that's the same dimensions, but just one single piece. This is a 1x4x2 panel. And I've chosen black just because I think it will match the kind of backdrop of that piece. So I'm going to warm this in exactly the same way. And you'll see my tea's gone down. That's because it's vanishing. I am drinking it. So I think I'll need another one, both for temperature and for refreshment soon. Right, so let's try that. See, that corner seems a bit raised, so I'll go for that one. Yeah, sliding right under. Oh, and this one must have quite weak glue. That's just peeling off so easily. Get rid of the pieces. You can see there's some real muck under this, so that must have been causing a bump in the sticker. So we'll wipe that on our cloth. Alright, so that's pretty clean now, especially compared with how it was. So I can now apply that to this piece, and although this is a new piece, I'm still going to give it a bit of a clean, just so there's no grease on it. And then I can apply the old sticker to the new piece. I think I'm going to have to go right up to the top edge on this one. Which at least helps me keep it straight. Yeah, that is exactly the same height as 2 bricks. So there we go. There is our transferred old sticker cross assembly piece. I can just give that a nice buff so there's a good contact, no air bubbles, and any subsequent muck is removed. Excellent. Now this time I've just got some tiles with spinware safety gear on, which I'll probably use for an advert. They come from the set 8125 Thunder Raceway, and they're very nice. So most of them are not straight, but one of them, which is this one, has actually been chewed a bit by its previous owner. So you can see there's a couple of tooth marks along that top edge and along the bottom edge and side as well. So I don't really like that, but mercifully the sticker has remained intact. It's got a little bit of fraying on that side, but I don't mind that because an advert stuck on a wall or something might also be frayed. So what I'm going to do with this one is warm it through and remove it in the usual way, but then put it on a brand new 2x2 tile. So you can't just move pieces onto their original piece. You can actually take them off and put them onto a completely different piece, of course, or just a better quality piece in this case. So here is the removed sticker. I'm just checking the underside for bits of muck, and there's a little bit, but not much. Ooh, a little bit more there. Yep, I think that's off. And then make sure you're using the new piece rather than the old chewed one when reapplying. Hopefully straight. There we go. So we've dealt with a damaged piece, but what if there's a very damaged sticker? So this one I got in a brick haul relatively recently, and you can see that the piece is fine, but the sticker was placed too near the edge, and this entire bottom edge of it is, well, very badly damaged indeed. It sort of looks like it's sort of been picked at, or I don't know, all sorts of damage. So I do want to save this sticker, which was from the Creative Ambush Lego movie set 70812. So what I'm going to do is remove this one and then give it a little trim, because it's actually on a clear background. So if we trim right up against this yellow line here, removing the entire frayed edge with scissors, when we've got it off, then we should be able to apply it back to the same piece with no remaining issue. Right, so let's try this. Now, clear stickers are always the worst, just because they will show any muck underneath them a lot more readily. So if you have got a clear sticker and it's almost perfect, I probably would leave it where it was rather than fiddle with it and make it look a little bit worse. So I'm going to clean this piece in a minute properly, because I want to show you what I'm going to do with this. I'm going to look at it from underneath, and I'm going to apply my scissors to cut absolutely right up to that yellow line along that frayed edge, which probably means we're going to keep 100% of the pattern and everything we want, and we'll lose very little. Still some more muck on that corner, so I may just go up at a slightly different angle. It doesn't matter, because this is a clear sticker. It's not that we're cutting off, you know, a white background or something like that that's going to show up against the red. So the fact that this might not, you know, if it had a really problem corner, you could just nip the entire corner off, because it really won't matter when it's reapplied to the piece. Right, so let's reapply that. It also had quite a lot of muck underneath it from having that damaged edge. And I'm going to use the non-damaged top edge as my reference point for reapplying it to the tile, because obviously the bottom now isn't necessarily a straight line. So I'll put that on there like that. And smooth that through. And now we've got rid of that real problem bottom edge. Now, I often find when doing transparent stickers that you can sometimes sort of see the glue. So if I try and tilt it so you can see it, it maybe looks a bit grayer or sort of speckled than it was before. So I think if you heat it again sometimes to sort of remelt the glue that's sort of cooled down during that movement process, and then give it another rub to kind of buff it and smooth out that glue again on the underside, then you'll end up with a much, much better looking sticker. Great! Now, of course, we don't have to add stickers back to the piece that they came from. We can actually use the opportunity to move them to a different piece. And that's how I make my recycled bins. I use one of the normal container pieces in green, add a 1x2 at the back, put one of these 2x2 tiles with a sticker on. This one hasn't been moved yet, from the Trash Chomper set 70805 on the top. And then, just to make it even more obvious it's a recycling bin, I move one of the stickers from the fire motorcycle set, 60000, onto the front there. So that's a good example of using a sticker from one piece somewhere else. Here I've got a TV from a friend's summer caravan set, 41034. And I don't really want it on a brick because I'm not going to use it that way. I might have it in my TV store in Brick Nottingham. So I thought I'd add it to a medium azure tile because that looks to be the same colour as the TV sticker itself. So I'll do that. And I can even use this sticker with its horrible lime background that's from the 8160 Crusher Block and Racer X, which is kind of a Legoized Laughing Cavalier, and then maybe trim off the lime background to give me enough picture to put onto a 2x3 yellow tile. And I think that'll look quite good, and then it can be a painting for sale in Brick Nottingham rather than whatever that is. So then we can clean the destination piece and apply our trimmed sticker. Now we have a nice usable piece that hasn't got that horrible lime background on it. How about that? Good, good. Now in this example, I want to talk about sticker alignment. And usually when you add a sticker to a piece, you want to have it centrally mounted with an equal boundary around all of its edges, so it looks very even. But in some specific examples, you don't want that. And these two stickers from the cargo terminal set 60022 are a prime example, being that they're both from the plane itself and are transitions from one coloured brick into a different coloured brick. And what I mean by that, I've just made this little rig just to demonstrate it, but a piece like that would be something like there, and this green would be kind of the last bit of green transitioning into full-blown white. And because we don't have diagonal bricks, they've used a sticker. Now, in this example, it shows that the original placement of this sticker isn't great because we've got this bit of white in between the green section and, well, the green section. So it's very odd. So what we really want to do is have this sticker, when we replace it, absolutely aligned with the bottom of the brick that it's on, and in this case the left hand side, and that will mean that the green area continues completely unbroken from the pieces here in bricks and the stickered green area. And just the same here with this, we'd want this sticker to be right up against this edge and right up against the bottom of this edge as well, in order to have the same effect. So I think it helps sometimes when you're doing something like this to build a little rig like this, just so you can see what you're doing and not make a mistake and have to do it all twice. So let's lift this one. I'm going to lift it from that corner. It looks a little raised. And it is important to keep a clean knife while you do this, and clean fingers and hands, because otherwise you're just adding as much dirt as you're removing. Right, so now I'm going to put this back on, but I'm going to make sure that that corner is absolutely aligned. And this does take a bit of practice to do, but you can always take your time and redo it using the whole technique if you haven't got it right. Now I find that when I've just got the corner on, I'm still able to drag the sticker a little bit, and I can just check with my thumb to check there's no overhang of the sticker on any of the sides. And then when I'm happy with it, I can push it down. If I give that a quick off. Now the test being that I can run my thumb all along that edge and all along that edge without sort of hitting any sticker, which I can't. And you'll see that this is now completely in one corner as opposed to centrally placed as usual. And that means that when I stick it here, we've got that desired effect of an unbroken green area and an unbroken white area. Now, talking about building a rig like we did here, just to help us in positioning of a sticker, you can build a much more complicated one as needs dictate. Because in this case, we've got a aircraft door and it's got these complicated stripe stickers. Well, they're not that complicated, but the positioning them accurately might be. So you can see here, they're both not centered, but also this top one isn't in the correct position. And it's very hard in isolation to decide exactly where that blue stripe should be because we've got no reference point. So by building a little mock-up of the side of the plane, rather than using the entire plane, which is rather large, we can see exactly where to put that sticker. So once it's removed, we can hold all these pieces in place and put the sticker exactly where it needs to be. So this blue stripe continues the blue brick stripe on both sides. And then we can even flip it should we need to halfway through to do the same thing, where you can see this side is way off to start with. That's a very drinkable temperature now. So I've got my rig, I've got my clean piece, I've got my cleaned sticker. So now I can just align everything like that. I can flip it around before pushing down the other side. That looks pretty much bang on actually. Oh yeah, that looks good. Alright, so let's see how I did. Using my rig, bottom sticker's fine, and the top one, yep, that looks aligned. Flip it round. Yep, I think I've done all right there. So very happy with that. All thanks to my little structure here. Excellent. Now I do think it's worth going through all these different examples because they've all got sort of their own subtleties to them, and I think you could learn a little bit from each one. The latest one being this piece from the hospital entrance of set 7892 Hospital. And what I'm going to do with this piece is use a different type of rig. So when I take this central piece off and reapply it, that I do it in a very central position. Because as you can see at the moment, it's definitely off to that side. It's not massively straight, I don't think either. And it really detracts from the look of it. So what I'm going to do is use a few plates. So here I've got a 4x8 to clip on the back of this. So it's just attached there. So I can use a 2x2 to bring it level, and then just a 4x4 to go there. And that means that when I reapply it, I've got a straight edge to stick it up to and something to centralize it on, because I've got these 4 reference points and the edges as well. So I can really make sure it's central and straight. And if I wanted it further up, I'd just use a larger plate. So whatever combination of bricks I need to temporarily mark a position, I can use when applying it back on. So I'm going to get on with this one. So on a brand new hot cup of tea, same process as always. I think that corner looks the most lifted, if any of them are. Get under that. Get my fingertip under. Now this is another transparent transparent backed sticker. So I don't want to get my fingerprints all over it, so I'm going to try and touch the reverse of the white bits where possible. Give this a clean. Put my rig on. Okay. Okay, so there's the front, there's the cleaned back, and now I can just reapply it using this red plate as a line to actually push the sticker up against, and as a reference point for getting it centralized. I think that that looks about right to me. Obviously check it's on the right orientation. I don't want to put it on upside down after all that, because we don't want to move transparent stickers more than once. So I'll just give that a nice rub, make the sticker firmly attached. And there we can see that that is definitely centrally placed. It's definitely straight. And now all I need to do is these wonky stripes on the side. But yeah, really happy with that. Now when applying really long stickers, or even just quite long stickers on a 1x6 or 1x8 tile, for example, I think the best technique is just to get one end down and then kind of hold the other end and kind of stretch it across its entire length. And I think that's what pinstripers do when they're sort of marking out areas, when they're doing very precise painting. So then you can get the two ends absolutely right, and then you can kind of smooth down the middle from one end to the other, and then end up with a very straight stripe, and then adjust the ends if you have to, like that. So that looks pretty good, I think. Definitely an improvement on where it was before. Do the other wonky one now. Now, given what a bad shape that was in to start with, I think that's a real improvement on that piece. Now, when I did the station for Brick Nottingham, I used these wonderful tread plate tiles, 1x4s, for all of my stairs. But as some people pointed out, it was then impossible for me to actually attach minifigures on the stairs because there was no connection points. So a way around that is to put in a step that's actually got a 1x2 tile, a 1x1 tile, and a 1x1 plate as part of it, so you can add a minifigure going up or down. Now obviously that then doesn't have the tread plates on it though. But what we can do is use a damage sticker such as this one that's got a sort of cut and a bit of damage about 3/4 of the way along where my thumb is here. Now I might be able to gloss over that or try and repair it, but instead what I'm going to do is cut this sticker so half of it goes on the 1x2 tile, the last quarter of it goes on the 1x1 tile, and I can get rid of the bit that's got the damage on and thus keep this wonderful pattern whilst retaining a stud as well. So for the 1x2 element, I was able just to cut straight through those central sort of rivets and get the right length of sticker for that element. And then with my remaining sticker, I'm going to try and retain half of what's left for my 1x1. So there's my 1x1 tile with tread plate that I can put on there. And now collectively I've got a complete set of tread plated stairs with a man climbing them. How about that? Really like that. I can now put that into my station, I think. Now as a final challenge, I've got this piece which I got on a recent brick haul. It's from the Radio Control Racer set, so I think it's probably been outside and treated rather roughly, and it's showing that very much because we've got all these edges peeling up pretty much on all the sides, right under there, dirt all under the edge and frayingness around every angle. So it'll be a real test of what we can do here. I think we're going to have to use all of the techniques we've used today, trimming off a lot of the black because it's on a black piece, but we can't trim off any of the grey stripe or red or yellow or any of the leopard itself. We've even got some air bubbles under here as well, so it's going to be a real test to get this looking serviceable. Now, I was planning to use this as a advertising billboard, and I can have some sort of 3D product that the leopard is advertising here, or maybe even a speech bubble or something, who knows. But I thought that would be a lot easier if the piece was the other way up, because then something I can connect to is at the bottom of the board rather than at the top. So when I do this, I'm actually going to flip the sticker 180 degrees around so it's facing the other way. Right, so I think I'll do this off camera because otherwise we'll be here all day, but wish me luck. Right, so here's our clean piece, and I've flipped it over like I said, and then here's our sticker post surgery. So I've cut off virtually all of the excess black because it was so crinkly and curled up at the edges, and I've taken off all of the fluff and dirt and all sorts that was on the back. There was quite a lot. You can still see it sort of stained a little bit from that, but I think the sticker's still of sufficient quality and opacity to bear that. So I just need to make sure this is now reapplied centrally, which is a bit difficult. Now I've sort of hacked half of it off, but I think if I get one side about right, then hopefully it'll be all right all the way. So I'm going for there, I think. Now there were some air bubbles in here, so we're going to have to be extra careful when rubbing this down that those pockets don't reappear, because the sticker will be stretched in those places. And there we go. So that looks pretty good actually, doesn't it? Still needs a bit of buffing because some of the sticky has got onto the edges. There's some there. So I need to tidy that up a little bit more, but I think you'll agree that that is a great improvement and a great success as well. That could definitely be used as an advert for something. Leopard gyms or leopard soft drink or goodness knows what else. Yeah, I'm really happy with that. So you can see what's achievable. We've got rid of all the air bubbles, all of the dirt, all of the fluff, all of the lifting edges. I just need to get rid of a little bit of the sticky that remains on the top. Awesome. So that was the last example of our patented hot tea technique. But I do want to show you one more thing, and that is similar in that it's sticker based, but it's using the brick separator to help with the application of stickers. Some people don't like using their fingers, or they're getting a right mess, especially when a sticker is large, like this one from Andrea's Pool Party 41374. And especially if they're trying to apply it to maybe a recessed position, like the inside of this panel piece. So the tip to use is to peel off the sticker as usual, but don't put it on your fingers. Just put it on the very edge of the brick separator, like so. And then that can hold it and you won't get sticky. And then we need our piece, which we should give a wipe so we don't get any dust or bits underneath. And then we can use our brick separator to hold it very controlled and very calmly to get it into a position that we are happy with. No, that wasn't quite on centre. Okay, so I'm happy with that. And there we go. No issues whatsoever with putting that into a very difficult recessed position that you might get in a right mess if you were using your fingers. So hopefully you've all got a brick separator, having bought a decent sized Lego set. And I think that's just a good tip to add to this video. So I do hope you found that quite long video very useful. It certainly served me very well, all these techniques of moving and correcting and repairing Lego stickers. It does work better, as I said, with real genuine tea, and it also works better with a genuine real patented hot tea technique mug, available using the link in the description. So, as always, thank you very much for watching. It is appreciated. Do remember to like, comment and subscribe for more awesome Lego videos. And next time we'll be back in Brick Nottingham for another Lego City update. See you then!